Hello and welcome. Have you ever had that feeling that there's a deeper level of vitality just waiting to be unlocked inside you? Well, today we're diving into some really incredible work from Alina Chamberlain that's all about how to awaken your body's own life force. We're going to break down the 3 fundamental keys that are like your inner control panel for vitality. So let's get into it and learn how to turn up our own inner flame. And we're kicking things off with this really powerful idea. The source material suggests our breath isn't just about, basic survival. It's an invitation. It's a call to the deepest, most alive parts of ourselves. This right here really sets the stage for everything we're about to uncover. So here's our little roadmap for today. We're going to start with the big picture, your body's control panel. Then we'll explore the 3 keys one by one: breath, heat, and movement. And finally, we'll see how you can put them all together to literally melt away tension and unlock all this free-flowing energy. All right, first up, your inner control panel. The core idea here, and it's a big one, is that you already have everything you need to feel more alive. It's not about finding something new or adding anything. It's just about learning how to use the controls that are already built right into your own body. I just love this metaphor from the source. Seriously, think of your vitality like a campfire. If you leave it unattended, it can just dwindle down to these smoldering embers, right? You're getting by, sure, but there's not a lot of warmth or light. But with some conscious attention, using these tools of breath, movement, and heat, you can stoke those embers into a bright, roaring, warming flame.
So, how do we start stoking that fire? Well, that brings us to our very first key, the power of deep breath. This is described as the bridge that connects your conscious mind to your body's deep instinctive wisdom. It's really the foundational tool that makes everything else possible.
Now, this is where things get really fascinating. Check out this contrast. Most of us, running around in our busy lives, we breathe shallowly, just into the upper chest. And what that does is it keeps our nervous system in this constant low-grade survival mode. But deep belly breathing, that flips a switch. It shifts the body into what the source calls arousal mode. Now, we're not talking about sexual arousal here, but the arousal of your life force. It wakes everything up, bringing vitality and this incredible sense of safety. So, here's the why. How does this actually work? Well, deep breathing physically stimulates something called the vagus nerve, and this sends a direct, powerful signal straight to your brain that says, hey, you are safe. It's an all-clear signal, and only when your brain gets that message of safety can your body truly relax, open up, and shift from just surviving into a state of really thriving. Right, so once your body feels safe, it can start to generate warmth, and that is our second key, the wisdom of inner heat. This isn't just about body temperature. Think of it more as a direct sign of where life force is flowing freely in your body.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you have a cold abdomen. This is often a sign of a freeze response, where unprocessed emotions and stress have just created stagnation. But in contrast, a warm pelvis is described as a woman's altar of creation. That warmth means energy is flowing freely, emotions are being processed, and you're literally radiating grace from your very core.
So we have our breath, we have our inner warmth, but how do we get that energy moving all through the body? This brings us to our third and final key, the art of slow movement. And in a world that is obsessed with speed, slowing down is framed here as this totally revolutionary act of self-connection. Just look at this comparison. Fast, mechanical movement actually kind of numbs us. Our brain perceives less and we totally lose touch with our body's subtle cues. But slow, fluid movement, thinking in spirals and waves, it's an act of deep listening. It lets you feel everything, and it returns this beautiful softness and sensitivity to your body.
This quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Slowing down isn't about being lazy or unproductive. It's about sending this incredibly profound message to your own nervous system. It's a message of value, of presence, of priority. You're telling yourself, my well-being matters more than any to-do list.
Okay, so we have our 3 keys: conscious breath, inner heat, and slow movement. Now for the really fun part. Let's see how we can weave them all together to release the stored tension that keeps our energy captive.
The source calls these points of tension bodily blocks, and I want you to think of them like a frozen emotion. Every time you've ever swallowed a feeling or held back a no you really wanted to say, your body may have stored that energy as chronic muscular tension. It's like a kind of armor.
And this armor tends to collect in 3 main areas. The jaw, which is actually neurologically linked to the pelvic floor, wild, right? The diaphragm, that big breathing muscle that can act like a barrier between our heart and our pelvis.
And of course, the pelvis itself, which is often where we store our deepest tensions.
And this is absolutely crucial. You cannot fight this armor. You can't force your way through it. Pushing against it will only make it clench tighter. According to the source, liberation happens gently. It's all about building trust with your body, using sound to vibrate the tension loose, and just giving these tight places your tender, loving attention.
And this brings us to a simple, beautiful practice that weaves all 3 keys together. First, you release the jaw with a soft ah sound, which helps relax the pelvis. Then you place your hands on your lower belly and use your deep breath to bring that warming, life-giving heat right into that space. And finally, you use slow, fluid, honey-like movements with your pelvis to distribute that warmth and energy all through your body.
You know what this all builds to is this profound journey back to yourself. The practice isn't about fighting or fixing, but about gently melting. It's not about becoming someone new, but about dissolving the layers of armor that might be hiding the radiant, powerful, and fluid woman you already are deep down.
So I'll leave you with this question from the source to just sit with. What would it actually feel like to move through your day and your life feeling completely at home, powerful, and just vibrantly alive in your own skin? The answer, as it turns out, is already waiting for you, right inside.